Welcome to Best Wellness Interviews, where successful people share their experiences and their attitudes around health and well-being and the strategies they use on that. I'm Kristine Best. I am your host, and I'm a strategic wellness visionary. And today, my guest is Philippa Chalice, and I'm going to let her tell you what she does, but it's something very interesting and quite different. And she may even get you laughing. Welcome to my podcast, Philippa. Thank you for being here today. Welcome.
Thank you, Kristine. I'm always happy to have the opportunity to tell people one of the best kept secrets in the world that they already know but don't know that they know, and put it into good use. And I'll tell people more about that as we go along.
Awesome. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about, who you are and what you are involved in.
I'd be delighted to. I'm Philippa Chalice and I live in Geelong. For those of you who are not familiar, Geelong is 1 hour south of Melbourne in the state of Victoria in good old Australia. And I'm very blessed to live here because it's a beautiful spot. And each day when I go out, I just have the blessing of looking at Corio Bay, and that sets me in good mood, or I go down to the beaches. Now, my business has come about because I've lived down here for so long that I've embraced the way of it. And it's a very positive environment. So when people ask me what I do, I always tell them I create positive environments. And I do that in a number of ways. My background, having worked in corporate, retail, very big on customer service and other areas, I have put that all together and now am known as the Queen of Laughter, because that's the tool that I use to help people create the positive environments. I've been doing it for years, 25 years in the laughter industry, and before that, well, I fester being the other side of 65, and I'll leave it at that. I've had a wonderful lifetime and a varied career in those areas.
So what made you go off on your own into this laughter area? What was the key trigger?
The key trigger was a colleague of mine in the speaking profession. We're both members at that stage of the National Speakers Association. And my topic has always been your number one asset is you. And I was a big lady. For those who've known me, they would be surprised to learn that I've shed 35 kilos. And I mention that, people say, well, that's in the past, you've done it. It's only recent times since I got COVID in 2021 that it happened. So it's taken me a lifetime to get there. But my life has been full of adventure, fun, and doing things, never inhibited, because I, for instance, utilised what I had. I used to be on television years ago, up in BTV6 in Ballarat, and the segment was Big, Bold and Beautiful, showing people how to groom themselves when they're a big person. And that was a very important part of my persona, because I made a success of whatever I did. Now, if I go back to my school days, I was the Jolly Green Giant, in grade 4 and 5, all the kids, they only came up to my shoulder, and I had growth spurt, and I was the height I am now. So it's been a long career of making the most of what I've got. Now, move on into my married life. We lived down in Anglesea for 10 glorious years in business there. It was retail, helping the public, and I found I could connect. And when I was asked to speak about my career, how I'd made a success and what I'd done, I didn't think it's the Philippa Chalice story. What would I know? Well, how was I special? But I found that I could take people with me on that journey and show them how to utilise their number one asset. So the topic that I've spoken to globally as a speaker is your number one asset is you. And you look at your features, you look at what you do and the strengths that you have and capitalise on it. And when I had a colleague say to me, Philippa, when you're speaking, your audiences are always laughing. You need to get involved in laughter yoga. Laughter yoga. So I
Right.
went along to see what laughter yoga was about. It was the most silly, funny thing. I said, well, yeah, good luck to you. Who would have known all these years later that it's the most requested thing that I do, that I go and help people put more positivity in their life using laughter.
Well, laughter does a lot of really good things to the human
Mm.
body. It gets the endorphins, the
Mhm.
oxytocin, and all of those things floating around your body, which are the feel-good hormones. So you feel good.
Mm. We always say you need a dose of laughter every day. That's where you get the dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and the
Yep,
endorphins. And
that's right.
boy, the documented evidence we've had over the last 25 years have proven
Mm.
how beneficial it really is.
Yep,
I just
that's
wish
right.
I'd known about it when I was in labour, because if I'd laughed more, it would have been better.
So yeah, so you were actually resistant to doing laughter yoga,
Not
and then
resistant. I just thought, how silly is this? What is, and people today are still the same, believe you me. When I'm going to an event and people sit there, and I love it in the corporate sector, they sit there, this
all
is,
serious.
yeah, and I don't have a problem with that. And I ask them to pick up their pen, whatever your pen is, and just put your pen in your mouth. And you smile. You can't help but smile. And a smile is the start of laughter, and we all laugh.
Very good. That's funny.
So it was my speaking career that led me into the laughter. And I feel very blessed. I really do, having it in my life and being able to share it and spread the happy demic of laughter.
So do you still talk about you being your greatest asset, or do you?
Oh, very much so.
Okay.
Speaking engagements, I've got right through to October next year. I've been booked for a convention, and it's for a company. So that is, you are ABC's number one asset, how you present to the public. Because one of my strong areas that I've always been able to speak to is professional and personal presentation skills. I find that if I can go into an organization that's got a team that's not cohesive,
Mm.
it starts with the basics. It only takes 4 seconds to make a lasting impression. And if you can get that through to people, if you can encompass all of those areas within their life and channel them into that, and I bring it together using the laughter tool.
Very good. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And when people laugh, they relax.
Hmm.
And when they're not laughing, they're all serious and stiff. And yeah, it totally changes you.
Well, again, the studies that have been done have been global. And if I tell you that the history of the laughter yoga is laughter yoga clubs, and it was started by a doctor in India. And he started, there were just 5 people that came together and they laughed in a park one morning. And they started out by telling jokes. And after a while, they ran out of jokes, of course, it's snuffy. So that was the end of that.
Oh yeah, I heard that one
And
before. Like,
he and his wife, Madhuri, thought we'll combine the laughter with the yoga. And it's all to do with breathing. Now, if you're into music, and so you know for a singer, you've got to get that exercise and the breathing. Do
Mhm.
you know that for singers, one of the best things they can do is laugh? Because when you laugh, you're breathing. And if you do it the correct way, I always say to people, put your hand on your chest and your hand on your tummy. Simple as that. Come with me on this. Let's show the people how to do it, Kristine. And I want you to simply do the wording of ho, ho, ha, 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 and be aware where they're coming from. So it's ho,
Ho, ho,
ha,
ho, ha, ha, ha.
ho, ho, ha, 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 ho.
Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha,
So
ha.
where does the air come from? The lower, down below, or in the diaphragm?
Well, it's the diaphragm, really. That's most people don't know how to breathe properly.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. When they do the ho ho, the Father Christmas, ho 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 ho, that's good. Well, I say to people, put your hands on your tummy, do the ho ho ho, push your tummy in even further and do the ha ha ha. So instead of coming up on the chest, it's down the diaphragm.
Yeah, that's
Simple
right.
as that.
Yep.
People just aren't aware of it, and that can help. And when people are breathing better, they think better, the clarity is there. So easy.
Yep. because a lot of people breathe with their shoulders, and that causes tight neck and shoulder muscles, and yeah, it's not good. It
And
compromises your breathing.
we talk about kinesiologies and linguistics and all the rest of it. Yes,
Mm.
it's true that the left and right brain hemisphere, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming,
Yes.
so that when you laugh, it's like Baroque music. It's the only time that both hemispheres of the brain work together. And because of that, it stimulates you and releases the dose of chemicals in the body. It's
Mm.
beneficial, and you only have to do it regularly every day, as I do. I get up in the morning, and the first thing I do after I've been to the little room in the house, and as I'm washing my hands, and I look in the mirror, I say, "Hi, gorgeous." I mean, it can only get better after that. And I have a laugh. Under the shower, I don't sing anymore. I laugh. So it stimulates me, energizes me, and I get out of there. Now, don't worry, when I've got people in the house, I still laugh, but I do a silent laugh. And it's simple. Do that one.
How do you do a silent laugh? Come on, Philippa.
Join me.
No, but it comes in. The sound wants to come out when I do that. No, I can't
And
do that.
it's really, if you've got to give a speech, if you're on the wings waiting to go onto a stage, that's one of the best things you can do. Just stand there and do some silent laughing.
Very good. That's a good trick. Yeah, that would actually help you as a singer before you go on stage, because it will relax you and it will get your breathing
Exactly.
right, huh?
Exactly. And, people might think you're nuts when you're doing it, but don't worry about it.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, but who cares? They can think I'm nuts. I don't mind.
and that's what happens with the laughter when people come to a yoga class.
Everyone's self-conscious to start
They
with, right?
are.
Yeah.
And my group, I did one this morning, 9 o'clock, out in the open where I do it in Geelong. It's in front of a restaurant, and there's often people there, and I'll meet them socially, and they say, "Oh, aren't you the laughter lady?" And I say, "Yes." "Oh, I see you doing laughter of a Saturday. We have a coffee there, and we often see you." And I said, "Oh, why don't you join in?" "Oh no, we laugh, but well, I couldn't do that in front of people."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And once you get over that inhibitions,
Yeah.
but the important thing is the benefits are far reaching. Now, I tell many a story when I'm on the stage speaking of the people who over the years I've been involved in. One of my favourite stories is of a guy who had been in a car accident, had an ABI, acquired brain injury. And when I did the session, he laughed and he looked at his family and looked at his mum, and just the joy of laughter when he normally didn't laugh. So that could release in him something that he hadn't done before. That was great. Or the woman who had dementia was brought along by her daughter, who's in her 40s, and the aunt as well. And at the end, beautifully groomed, I've never forgotten this one. And she came up and very well composed. And she said, "Philippa, we haven't met. Could I please give you a hug?" And with that, she embraced me and there was tears. And I said, "Oh, are you okay?" She said, "Oh, look, I just wanted to thank you because Mummy has had dementia now for 3 years. And this is the first time that she has used my name and known who I am since it."
Mm.
I do
Wow.
remember driving home after that, and I've got tears streaming down my face. My husband rings up and he says to me, "You all right?" And I said, "No, I've just had the most beautiful thing." And I was kind of like crying, which turned into laughter because there's such a fine line between crying and
Yeah.
laughter.
Music does the same thing. It gets into a part of the person's brain and it brings back their memories. And they can sing all the words to the songs, the old songs that they used to sing, whereas they've got dementia and they don't know people's names. So there is a way to reach them and to bring them out of that that condition.
Well, one of the ways we say that you get the best out of a laughter yoga group is that you do the breathing. So we do have some breathing, just raising our hands and breathing out to start with. And we do that several times or in between each of the laugh. We do our different laughs and we break them up with the rhythmic clapping of the ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. And that in itself is beneficial because you're stimulating, you know more about that than I do, or the pressure points and things like that. And so that's helpful. But the ingredient to all of this when we do the laughter is to let the inner child out, because children laugh an inordinate amount of times. Us adults, as we get older, get a bit, maybe 12 or 15 times a day, which is a bit sad.
Children are sort of open and happy and curious and spontaneous, whereas adults are more reserved and stiff and serious and and they don't need to be like that.
And when I go into an aged care facility, it's wonderful, as you said, because they've possibly got dementia, they can't remember, because we're letting the inner child out. They'll come along, and I had one lady only a fortnight ago sitting there in one of those recliner beds,
Mm.
and we would do the clapping 2 or 3 times, and by the time we finished doing the clapping, she just got there. But she was 92. She'd always
Oh,
comatose, and the staff were amazed at this interaction.
very good.
Mhm. But so
Yeah.
that's the social aspect of it that I like, being able to help people. But working as I do in the corporate sector, and I'm very happy always to be on stage at a conference convention, but I love a workshop, particularly when there's team building activities or sales activities.
Hmm.
When you bring people together, they laugh. It brings them all to the same level. It's a great ego leveler.
Mm.
And in the corporate setting, the well-being. Now, we're all talking about wellness very much at the moment, and all organisations have someone doing it. That's the best aspect. If you can bring people together, there are a number of factories, in fact, when people start a shift, particularly overseas, I'm aware of this, where they will come together and they'll do 10 or 15 minutes of laughter yoga.
Mm.
Off they go, they're energized, because it does it. It boosts your energy.
Absolutely. And productivity. Yeah,
Mm.
that's right. So now I'm going to ask you, because you mentioned that during COVID, that's when you had to lose all that weight. Do you want to go into that and tell us a little bit about why you lost the weight? What made you? What instigated that?
Well, I was one of the original COVID people, or can't remember, was it Delta COVID? And 7 days with a 40-degree temperature. I'm lucky lady to be here.
Mm.
And my getting over that took months. In fact, I'm still not over it. And only recently got back my sense of taste and smell.
Wow.
And the first episode there, I was very unwell, and it was months and months. So that was, as I mentioned, December 21. And then in June last year, 24, I got my second bout, and I was again high temperatures, ended up in hospital in isolation. That was interesting. And people wouldn't come into the room. The nurses would come all gowned and caped, and they'd stand at the door, but they loved to come in. And I would be in my room. What do you do when you're in isolation for 24 hours?
Yeah.
I would laugh my head off. And they learned
Did they think you were mad?
yeah, they did. And they all wanted to know, what laugh are we having today? So it was very dramatic and very hard, but a lifetime of not doing the right thing. I'm ashamed to say, Kristine, that I think it's 4 or 5 times I lost anything from 3 to 4 stone in the old days, or 30 to 40 kilos, but I put it back on again. And it was my poor eating style, not having respect for the body, and pretending that I was 30 years younger than I was. And I used to pride myself on saying, I'm like Winston Churchill, I don't need much sleep. And I would exist on 5 to 6 hours to do everything in my life. The body never had a time where it could relax, and
Mm.
the kidneys and the liver could do their body and cleanse the body. So without knowing it, I did the damage. Very, very much so.
Mm.
With the weight, it's taken me until the last few years to get back into line with what's good for my body. And sadly, I'm now type 2 diabetes. I do handle it by diet, exercise, and I couldn't do without my exercise, and eating. And I have the good old diabetic 5 meals a day. when I say that, breakfast, lunch, and dinner is a given.
Yeah.
And then through the day, and it might be, we've discussed before, just a handful of almonds to keep me going. Or as
Yeah.
my late husband would say, oh, can I please have some cardboard and plastic? And that means I'd have, what are they called, Vita wheat and a
Oh,
bit,
yeah.
bit of plastic cheese.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But just something. And I found that instead of saying, oh, I don't know why I don't lose weight. I don't have breakfast and I don't do this and blah, blah.
That actually slows your metabolism down when you
Mhm.
don't eat. By
Mhm.
eating 5 times a day, small
Yes.
meals,
Yes.
right? Don't have to eat a lot, as you said, and some nuts or an apple or,
Mm.
cheese and biscuits or something like that. Just a couple, just to get you through till the next main meal. And if you do that, your body will thank you because you're getting regular uh, energy coming into the body that the
Mm.
body can use. And then it doesn't have to work hard to store it. And
Mm.
also, your thyroid gland knows that there's food coming in, so it'll keep your metabolism high. The moment you start going on these massive diets and missing various meals and eating like a sparrow, your body says it's a famine. We
Well,
need to conserve this energy so it'll slow your metabolism down so it doesn't use as much and you end up putting on more weight. And that's a problem where people don't understand that. And the longer you're in that cycle, the longer it takes to actually recover and
mm,
get your body working properly again and increase your metabolism. It
mm.
takes time.
One
Yeah.
of the things I was pleased to know, I'd always say, I've only got to walk past a cake shop and I put on weight. And I remember Deakin University in Geelong did a study and they found that when you do go past a bakery, the olfactory senses kick in, and the body
Mhm.
says, oh, that's cake, that means I've got to do such and such. And cake on me, like alcohol, goes on the body and goes, it stays there.
Yeah, you're right.
And I was really relieved to know it was not all my own fault when I used to do that. The best thing about getting older and wiser is to have those 5 meals a day and to balance out. Now, if you're going to go out and have a breakfast, a ham, cheese, and toasted croissant or something, well, just don't have any flour pastry through the rest of the day.
Mm.
The other secret that I found for my weight control is try not to eat after 7:30, 8 o'clock. Those big meals, when you go to a restaurant and they
Mm.
bring mains out at 25 past 8 and you sit and eat that till 9 something and then you have whatever and Vicky's and cheese and
You go to bed on a full stomach, it's not good for you. Yeah,
no, no. So that's really how I've done it over the years. And
very good.
my fluid intake's the other one. I was
Good.
hugely interested in always. I used to drink also one with this diet Coke. I used to have
Mm.
copious amounts of that until I read up on aspartame.
That's not
And
definitely not good for you. Actually, it's a bit of a poison, really.
well, what's Coke made out of originally? Yeah, I have Pepsi Max. So
Makes a good degreaser for your engine, actually, Coke.
yes, I don't drink tea or coffee. I have a lot of water and sparkling waters, but then again, you do or you don't. If you have too much sparkling mineral water or soda water, it's bad for your teeth and rots the enamel. My dentist tells me can't win.
But
But
the carbonated drinks also increase acidity,
mm,
and that's not as good for you either.
mm.
Alkaline diets are much better. Like vegetables are alkaline, fruits tend to be a bit acidic, but alkaline diets are better for you.
Well, I've learned I basically have water or I have a diet cordial. That's my big thing.
Hmm.
And I am allowed to have a white wine, but I very rarely drink alcohol because, again, as I said, like cake, it goes and stays on me. And I do miss having a nice champagne, I'll be honest. Though as I've got older, each time I drink now and have a champagne, I get flushed red cheeks.
Yeah, yeah, because you're not particularly used to it anymore. So
Mm,
as soon as you have it, it generates like extra energy in you, and yeah, increases
Hmm.
your metabolism. So it's interesting how you don't treat your body well when you're younger necessarily. Most people, I think, are sort of a bit in that category, and they don't realize that what they're doing is going to affect them later on in life.
Mm.
So if they realize that, they would change everything that they're doing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
It's another story I tell against myself. I've always been big on sport. Played a lot of sport all my life.
yeah.
And until I got COVID, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'd get into the pool, always there 6:30 in a 25-meter pool, used to do 40 laps. And I'm a triathlon because I talk, walk, and swim.
Okay.
Um, And unfortunately, with a few ailments, I've not been able to do the swimming of late, and I do power walking. But I'm very pleased to tell you that I've got my 40 laps down from 35 minutes to 28 as my PB. So,
Very good.
mm, and
That's very good.
that keeps me going. And at the moment, with a few injuries, I'm doing hydro and I go to, well, it's strength and balance class. But as I said, being at the age I am, I call it geriatrics gym.
Oh, that's not fair to you.
Oh, it is. I'm pleased to be a geriatric. Some people don't have the privilege of making it, Kristine. So I'm
I
very
guess I guess it depends on how you look at it.
yeah.
Yes, that is a privilege to be at that age.
So because I have always, even when I was big, I do all the swimming and activities, the sport. That's what kept me going till now.
Yeah, so that COVID, some people were really badly affected
Mm.
by some strains of COVID, and uh, you're the first person I've met that um, has had that kind of response.
Mm.
Um, did you meet other people who've had that?
Yes, there is a group, there was a study group. I was not going to be part of that because I didn't see it at the time. But I found out that the people worse off with me, I still have trouble reading. And that really is a hardship. I used to devour one or two books every week on top of
Mm.
the professional reading I would do. And the body, I can't absorb it. God forbid, having
So it's
dementia.
affect your brain. It affected your brain. Is that what
Yes,
you're saying?
it has. It has.
Wow.
I have to write everything down. If you tell me something, I write it down. You tell me something before I write it down, because the recall, which I understand, and at this stage, having been tested, I don't have dementia and I still have all my faculties, but I'm aware of it through the COVID that I still can't do certain things. It took me a long time to get used to um, the taste of things. And since COVID, I find there's something which I shouldn't have that I love is salt. I love
Mm.
having chips with salt. Not that I eat them very often. I like salt on tomatoes now. Who would have thought it?
Yeah.
You know,
I've always liked that. I
isn't it?
don't eat a lot of salt other times, but when I have, potato chips or tomato, yeah, I like a little bit of salt on them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
my
funny.
palate has changed. So
So
that
your palate has changed. That's weird.
and no immunity. I have had pneumonia since. If there's a cold, I get it. And the lethargy is what I found very hard. Having to realize that I can't do everything in one day. I've got to slow down because the body needs it. And my doctor keeps saying to me, I need to have a siesta after lunch. Well, I don't have grandchildren, so I tell people I'm having a glamour nap. Yeah.
Not a nana nap, like a
No. So
glamour nap.
yes,
That's
but
very good.
when I meet other people, I realize how lucky I was to have it twice. And let's be honest, when you go into a hospital and you end up having a code blue, you know that you are pretty serious.
Mm.
Mm. No, there
Yeah.
wasn't a light on the other side.
Yeah, right. No, you don't want to see that light.
No, I just laughed. Oh, there's another story for you and anyone watching this podcast. when I was in the ante room about to go into theatre, I'm lying on there and they said, "Oh, we're sorry, there's a bit of a delay. You'll be here in the ante room for a little bit longer." I said, "Oh, not a problem. I'll just do some laughter yoga." So I started laughing, and and I did a delicate little and someone came, "You all right?" I said, "Yes, I'm just laughing." "Laughing at what?" I said, "Oh, it's really..." And they kept coming in and out. When I finished the actual procedure that I was having done, they said, "That's amazing. We must try it because your blood pressure was almost perfect."
Well, there you go.
It's
So,
even tough footballers when they go to theatre, their blood pressure's elevated.
of
No,
course.
I'm laughing. I was fine.
Oh, that's interesting. So it lowered your blood pressure. It's
Mm.
because you were relaxed. That's why I said, when you laugh, you relax.
Well, laughter boosts your immune system, as I've already mentioned. That got me through. It energizes you. It really does stimulate the action of the brain. I like to say when I'm working in the corporate sector, if you can bring people together and have them collaborate, start off with a laughter session because it really does connect. And I
Yeah,
think Victor Borg was attributed with saying it's the shortest distance between two people. Laughter really is.
yeah. Very, very good. So do you do anything bigger than you? Are there any charities that you get involved
Oh,
in?
yes.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about that, Philippa.
I've always volunteered and been involved when I was single, living in Melbourne. I was on all the different younger sets, the Royal Children's Hospital younger set, the Royal Melbourne, and I was very much into the National Trust and the Art Gallery, as one does when one's a young woman in her early 20s. And when I moved down after marrying to Geelong, I was immediately invited to be part of the Geelong Art Gallery, where we have the Archibald at the moment, and that's fabulous. And I did that. And the Geelong Hospital had a group called the Mad Hatters, and we raised funds for the Children's Ward. So over the years, all those activities. And I joined over 40 years ago the organisation called Zonta International. Are you familiar with that?
No, haven't heard of that one.
It's a global organisation, a service organisation, and the mission is to build a better world for women and girls. And I never go out without my Zonta pin on. That's what that's all about. And my husband and now my daughter are very much involved with Lions Clubs International. So giving service, and their mottos we serve, has been part of my life forever. Over the years, the different committees, and I suppose if I shared with you and anyone listening to the podcast that I became a uterine cancer survivor way back in 2017. And at that time, I thought, how lucky am I? How blessed. And for anyone listening to this, please, anyone that's got a female in their life or to females listening, if you ever have a symptom, go and get it checked because uterine cancer can be cured. I was told that I would need a hysterectomy, and from day one of my first symptom to when I had the hysterectomy was 6 weeks. And as a result, didn't have to have chemo or radiotherapy. So please, ladies and men, insist that your women take action. The women could be your mum, your sister, your wife, your niece, your granddaughter. So important. So I started a group called the Geelong Region Cancerians, and we raised funds and we raised money for research into not only uterine cancer, but all cancers. And we did that through the Australian Cancer Research Foundation. So to me, that's important to give back. And
That's amazing.
and I've always been involved in one way or another, having given the community my services that I could best use, even if it was just when I lived in Anglesea being secretary of the tennis club, because I old-fashioned, I could do shorthand. And one of the women said, "Could you do shorthand?" "Yeah." "Oh, could you take the minutes?" Well, of course, it's time for the rest of my life. And I do feel that if you volunteer and give back, it's the best thing you can do. It really is.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Why is it good? What does it do for you?
Well, some people do things. If I do that, what am I going to get out of it? That doesn't occur to me. It's how I can help people. And I always look at the glass half full. I'm a bit of a Pollyanna, people tell me.
Mm-hmm.
I think, if somebody else, if you can help them, I look at organisations that have sprung up. I look at the Are You OK Day. I look at just the law of reciprocity. I guess you give it out, it comes back in different ways. And I just find that if you can help other people, you feel good too. It makes you go into a good place.
That's exactly right. It helps your own wellness.
Mm,
It makes you happy. It gives you a sense of satisfaction. And, you see somebody with a smile on their face because of something you've helped them with. Doesn't that make you feel good? And
I,
and
I,
it's getting
I,
those right hormones circulating around your body, all the good hormones, and that makes you feel better. It actually helps your body function better. Whereas if you're unhappy and the cortisol is flowing around your body, the fight and flight thing, those hormones, they actually break your body down,
mm,
especially over time. And there are a lot of health conditions that come about from
mm,
that being in uh, a long-term situation. Whereas if
mm,
you can change that around with laughter, giving to others, looking after your body in the right ways, what you put into it, how you use your body, moving. If you do all of those things, your body can't help but heal itself and be well. So
well, I
it
mentioned that I played sport and I carry a lot of injuries. And often I think, oh, how lucky am I that I can feel it and I have it there and I don't complain about it. When you see somebody who might be in a wheelchair or using calipers and things like that. So if I can give a smile away, a smile costs nothing. And I smile at everybody. And I've made some great friends over the years. And
mm,
I take it as a compliment when someone rings me up and saying, Philippa, I'm just ringing up because I need to have some laughs. Can I have
mm,
some laughs with you? Or in a group of people, when you're talking and you hear the person saying how good they feel about something and say, oh, yes, well, Philippa made me realise. People just can't see the light sometimes, the end of
that's right. They
the
just need a helping hand. That's
tunnel.
exactly right.
And you do feel good and you sleep. I always feel as I get into bed at night and I think, oh, I had a really good day, not deliberately going out to be nice to people. If I see someone wearing something that's nice, I'll say to them,
That
thank
looks nice.
yeah, I do. And people have come to me and said, thank you. I was having a really down day and you made me feel really good. So I smile,
Just
they
that's
smile, and the
exactly.
world goes on.
Yeah. And it's about your whole body. I don't like the term holistic because it's overused, I think, today, but it's not just about what you eat or doing exercise per se. You can dance or you could do gardening. It's getting out and being
Yeah.
active in some way that pleases you. And it's not just those things either. It is also about your social well-being. It's about your spiritual well-being. It's about giving to others. And there's all of these things like self-development is another aspect of you, learning and growing. And all of those things are about your wellness, you
I'm
know?
always intrigued when I go along to a professional development course of different natures, and people say, why are you here? You've lectured on this, and why are you doing that? And I say, well, look, you can always learn something new.
You can always refresh your memory, even if it's something you already know.
The aha moments, or
Yeah,
picking up and doing something you completely forgotten that you did years ago and
yeah.
realize how good. When you think back on, you think, oh, that was a really good time. Yes, that was terrific. Um, all those years that I used to help score at netball, for instance, when my daughter was playing,
Mm,
because I wasn't playing anymore. And I thought, boy, I had some fabulous times when I used to be there and involved with playing the game. And it's giving back, and you see the young ones coming on. It's fantastic.
yeah.
And the,
Well, that's been a really amazing interview with you, Philippa. And I've learned a lot about you now. that I didn't know. I've known you for a while. I've known you for a few years now. But I didn't know about the charitable things that you did, and that's really amazing. And I want to encourage people to get outside themselves and go and do things for other people, because then your problems actually shrink, and they don't overwhelm you when you're, you know, out and about, thinking outside of yourself rather than always thinking within yourself. And it's about life being it.
Mm-hmm. I think, we hear so much today about the mental illness, and we,
Yeah.
we don't have enough wellness put into it. Oh, by the way, I'll give you a great little laugh if you like for mental. It's called mental flossing. If you just put your hands up, right? And over here, there's a piece of mental floss. Just pull it out. It's magic. There it is. It's nice and stiff. Now pop it into your ear and take it out the other side.
Oh.
Okay, and I want you to laugh as we mental floss our brain.
I'll give it a clean.
We don't do enough to stimulate. People have all these problems, and I think we're hearing about this society with ADHD, how many people have it. And
Yeah.
if only we were to give more to people and help them. If someone's cranky, don't say, oh, they're cranky. Why are they cranky? And try and help them, and you'll feel better yourself.
Yeah. Everyone's quick to judge or go, oh, don't talk to them. They're in a bad mood. Instead of going over and, I don't know, just making them laugh or making them a cup of tea or something and making them feel good. They could
I
just turn it around,
it wouldn't happen today, not politically correct, but many years ago, I won't mention what industry it was even in that I was working in. And it was one of the greatest careers was being a secretary. I loved it, being the secretary to the top man in the organization and how good it was. But I worked at one place and there was he'd get grumpy, this particular boss. Anyway, one day he came in, he's carrying on and throwing papers around, all the rest of it. I went up to him and I said, did you have a bad night at home last night with the kids giving you hell? Well, I'm sorry, maybe this will feel you better. And he was sitting in his chair, and we were socially friends before I got the job, so it was okay. And I said, what you need is this. I said, could you please stand up? He stood up and I gave him a bear hug. He burst out laughing and he said, I needed that. He'd get fired today for doing something like that. But it changed him from being a grumpy old man walking into the office, and then when he went out, he was fine.
Yeah, right. Very good. Yeah. You could do that with someone you're familiar with,
Yeah.
but yes, you wouldn't do it in an office to a boss that you were not familiar with.
Not at all. But I find that if I can make people laugh, particularly people who have issues with mental well-being, it just puts them in a different place because you're releasing all those endorphins, the happy hormones, and the other benefits. Or we haven't got time. That's a whole podcast in itself, talking the other aspects of the chemicals that are within the laughter. But when you do that with people, just to put a smile on their face, it makes life easier.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's been a very good interview. We could probably talk for another hour, but we'll have to wind up here. And I really appreciate the time you spending this time here on my podcast. Thank you for being on Best Wellness Interviews, Philippa Chalice.
It's been my pleasure. And as I say, as my name is in business, live life laughing.
You got that, listeners? Come on, laugh. That's the key. With that, have a great day.